Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We are at 21936 Laurel Avenue Northeast here in Aurora. We are located, I describe everything as if you're standing in the street facing the front door of the house. So we are on the right side of the home, right next to the crawl space hatch. Got a 3-inch ABS clean out sticking out of the ground. We've also got an RV dump here too. Anyway, there's your crawl space hatch. Check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Water is running. I'm going to zero out. Off we go here. I was wondering if we'd have some older pipe materials in here. So we're swapping over to cast iron now. Well, it looks like the little main lateral system here appears to be right on property. Looks like we're Y connecting right onto the main here. That, or I'm going to get my locator out and locate. We're either tying onto a main here. The only other possibility is we're dropping into some kind of holding tank like a septic system, but I'll go check to see if this is hooked up on city sewer or not. Either way, this appears to be the end of the sewer line here. The way we're tying onto this thing is indicative. The way we sweep onto that looks more like a tie onto just a main lateral. It's the up at the top of the pipe there almost appears to be a square shape to that. That's what makes me think this might be some kind of a little bit different type of system. Alright, so I just located the camera head here. We're sitting fairly straight out from the line does turn. It's a short line, which is very normal for man-u neighborhoods like this. Rarely are the lines much longer than 15 to 20 feet at most. Some of them are 2 feet. And there's a lot of this type of neighborhood where the line actually never even leaves the foundation of the house. It just dives straight into a main underneath the home. So what I can see here, it's hard to understand what this thing is. It could be a pump system potentially. This definitely appears to be where the line is terminating. You've got some standing water. You might want to look further into the kind of system this has, though. What we're entering into right now feels more like a pump holding tank or something of that nature, possibly a step system. Some of these smaller neighborhoods that are much more rural, where you don't have water treatment plants everywhere, they have a combination system where the water drains off to a main lateral like any other sewer line, but the solids remain behind in a tank. It could be some type of pump system. It's really hard to tell what this is, but what we're entering into right now does not look or feel like your average. I've cameraed 24 or 5,000 homes over the 13 years I've been doing this. The way that this is connecting into this concrete just does not look or feel like your average main lateral. It feels more like some kind of holding tank. So I would check into that. From the sounds of it, it sounds like it's on city sewer of some kind, public sewer, but that doesn't always mean you've got a regular main lateral. Sometimes that means you've got a pump system or something of that nature. So there's a little bit of standing water here at the end of the line. It starts there at about 6 feet and dissipates off right here at about 8 feet. It's very short-lived. At its worst point, it's under an inch of water. My camera head isn't even getting fully submerged here. On top of that, the line is spotless clean. There's no evidence that's ever led to any kind of flow problems. Based on the lack of buildup, it's super, super clean. If that had been causing flow problems on any kind of regular basis, typically you're going to have a whole bunch of buildup in the sewer line. It'll be pretty obvious that's what's going on. So anyhow, all the pipes intact here. A little bit of older cast iron there at the end, but still doing its job. All right, I just put my locator on the ground. I'm going to pull the camera out here and just show where that's at. We're only at 1 foot 5 inches deep under just purely gravel and dirt here. That's about as shallow and easy as it gets to get to a sewer line right there. Should you ever have to do any kind of repairs, that is like, you could dig down to that sewer line in 5 minutes with a shovel. All right, so as the line turns, it turns away from the house to head towards the street. Right there, if you pretend the little pistol grip handle part of that locator there is the sewer line itself, as it kind of makes that sweeping turn to tie onto the concrete, that handle basically represents that end piece of the cast iron there just before the concrete. The wide, long part where those two big black plastic ball things are there, I guess you could consider the concrete portion of the line. So, anyway, the line comes out, it turns, heads towards the street, and then terminates right there. So, anyway, I would try and contact the HOA just to see if they have any better understanding as what kind of system this is. That does not feel like your average line out to a main type scenario. It feels like there's a little bit more to this thing, like it could have some kind of pump system or something. And I could be wrong there. It's just I can't get much of a view. My camera doesn't really want to, and I don't really like shoving my camera into the unknown when you get into something like that. In the event there is a pump or something in there, I don't want to run the camera into something, either damage the system and or get a camera stuck or something of that nature. So anyway, from everything I can tell here, that looks like where the line terminates, and it could be where it drops down into the main. So it would be worth contacting the HOA to see if they have some kind of map or something that can kind of clue you into that. Everything leading up to that point is either in fair condition for its age. The cast iron's not perfect. It's obviously got some imperfections, but it's clean. Water, sewage is conveying through there. There's zero buildup to speak of. All the plastic pipes in good shape there leading up to it, and nice and clean. So sewer line is functioning out this time. The standing water there at the end of the line is not significant enough, in my opinion, to require repairs, especially when I can't even recommend a few $100 in drain cleaning on it, and I don't see any evidence whatsoever of past flow issues. I don't jump straight to that kind of stuff. When it comes to a belly of that size, which is fairly minor, it's about a ½ inch or so of water at its worst point. It purely comes down to how the homeowner's treating things. Don't put wipes, things of that nature down the line. Flushable wipes are included in that. I include those in the improper category. They are slightly less terrible for your sewer system than paper towels are. Cooking oil, grease, it's mostly improper items and or gigantic balls of toilet paper. It's mostly pretty heavily abusive items, and doing it on a fairly consistent basis that gets a spot like that to be able to cause a problem. Otherwise, proper usage, clearly, whoever's been living here has managed to keep the line nice and clean and flowing right along. So, sewer line is functioning out this time.